Hi, Pisces. Welcome back to Moonveil Tarot. And if you're new here, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, so I put that warning in the title and I meant it like I am not being dramatic for clicks. I am being honest because what came through for this reading is the kind of thing that is going to require you to sit with it, to really let it land. And some of it is going to feel overwhelming in the best way, and some of it is going to crack something open that you have been keeping very carefully closed. So if you are watching this in a rushed moment, if you are distracted, if you are not in a space to feel something, please come back because this deserves your full attention and you deserve to receive it properly. And I want to say something before we start because I think it is important. We spend so much of our lives wondering what other people think of us, right? Like it is one of the most universal human experiences, this quiet background hum of what do they actually think? What do they say when I am not there? Does it match what they say to my face? Am I being seen the way I want to be seen? And most of the time, we never get the answer. We just have to live with the wondering. But today, the cards are going to pull back the curtain and show you what is actually being said in the rooms you are not in, what people are thinking when your name comes up, what the conversations look like when you are the topic. And I promise you, some of what comes through is going to surprise you because what people feel about you, what they say about you, is so much more than you know. So take a really deep breath with me, get genuinely comfortable, and let's get into this. Okay, I am starting with an oracle card today just to set the energetic tone before we go into the tarot. You leave an impression that cannot be erased. You leave an impression that cannot be erased. Oh, and I want you to really hear that. Not just as a nice thing to say, but as a literal spiritual truth about how you move through the world. Because here is the thing about impressions. Most people leave traces, little marks, things people vaguely remember. But every once in a while, someone comes along and leaves something that is permanent, that stays with people long after the interaction ended, that comes back to them in quiet moments, that influences how they see the world. And this oracle card is saying that is what you do, that is who you are. And the people this reading is about, the ones talking about you, the ones whose conversations we are about to look at, are living proof of that. Because if you were forgettable, there would be nothing to say, okay, now let me start pulling the tarot cards. And I want to structure this differently today. I am going to pull cards for 3 different groups of people who are talking about you because the conversations are not all the same. There are the people who love you, the people who envy you, and the people who have complicated feelings that they do not even fully understand themselves. And I want to look at all 3 because all 3 are happening simultaneously in your world right now. Group 1, what the people who genuinely love you are saying. Pulling 3 cards for this group. The Sun, the Star, and the 6 of Cups. Okay, the Sun, the Star, and the 6 of Cups. For what the people who love you are saying, oh, this is so beautiful. Let me walk through all 3. The Sun first, which is the card of pure joy, pure radiance, the happiest card in the deck. And what the Sun is telling me about what people who love you are saying is that they light up when they talk about you, like not a polite smile, but a genuine physical brightening. Their whole face changes, their energy shifts, and what they say sounds something like there is just something about them, like when they walk in, the whole room feels different, or I cannot explain it. They just make things feel more alive, or being around them is one of the best feelings I know. And what I want you to understand about the Sun card in this position is that this is not polite talk. This is not people being nice because they are supposed to be. This is genuine. Like talking about you makes them feel good the way remembering something beautiful makes you feel good. And that is an extraordinary effect to have on people. And then the star, which is hope and healing and divine beauty. And what the star in this position is showing me is that people who love you see you as a source of hope, like not in an abstract way, but in a very specific personal way. Like they have moments where they are going through something hard and they think of you, and the thinking of you helps your existence in their life, is genuinely healing for them. And they talk about you with this quality of, they make me believe things can be okay, or just knowing them makes me feel like good things are possible. And I want you to let that land, because that is an extraordinary thing to be for someone without even trying. And then the Six of Cups, which is the nostalgia card, the memory card, and in this position, for what people who love you are saying, the Six of Cups is showing me that you are the person people tell stories about. Like you come up in conversations that have nothing to do with you because something reminded them of you, or because they were telling a story and realized you were in it in a meaningful way. And the stories people tell about you have this quality of warmth to them, of fondness, of let me tell you about this person. And then they proceed to tell the story in a way that makes whoever is listening wish they knew you too. Group 2, what the people who envy you are saying, pulling 3 cards for this group: the Five of Wands, the Moon, and the Seven of Swords. Okay, so the Five of Wands, the Moon, and the Seven of Swords, for what the people who envy you are saying, let me be really honest here, because I think you deserve honesty about this. The Five of Wands first, which is the conflict and competition card, and what this card is showing me is that there are people who talk about you in a competitive way. Like they frame you as a rival, even if you have never thought of them that way, even if the competition is entirely one-sided. And what I find really interesting about the Five of Wands in this position is the specific flavor of what they say. It is not pure negativity. It is this uncomfortable combination of criticism mixed with admiration. Like they might say something that sounds like a critique, but underneath it is this undeniable awareness of your capability, of your gifts, of the fact that you have something they genuinely wish they had. And the critique is the only way they know how to express that awareness without admitting that they are impressed. And then the Moon, which is the hidden things card. And in this context, the Moon is showing me that what the envious people say about you publicly is very different from what they say privately. Like in public, they might be neutral or even friendly, but in private conversations, the Moon energy says there is more being said, things that would surprise you, things that reveal how much space you take up in their mind, and not in a comfortable way for them. Because envy is an uncomfortable emotion. It means you are aware of someone's light in a way that makes you feel dim by comparison, and that feeling does not produce generous speech. And then the Seven of Swords, which is the strategic speech card, the what gets said where card. And what this card is showing me is that some of what is said about you by people who envy you is calculated, like it is placed in specific conversations with specific people for specific reasons. And I want to say, because I think this is important, the fact that people are doing this is not a sign that you have done something wrong. It is a sign that you represent something that they feel threatened by. you cannot be strategically spoken about unless you matter enough to be strategic about. And you do group 3, what the person with complicated feelings is saying, pulling 4 cards for this group, because this is the most layered. The Hermit, the Moon, the Knight of Cups, and the Hierophant reversed. Okay, so this is the most interesting group and the most emotionally loaded one. The Hermit, the Moon, the Knight of Cups, and the Hierophant reversed. Let me walk through all 4. The Hermit first, which is the going inward card, the deep private processing card. And what this card in this position is telling me is that the person with complicated feelings does not talk about you easily or freely or with just anyone. They carry what they feel about you privately, turning it over, examining it, sitting with it in the quiet. And when they do talk about you, it is rare and it is carefully chosen who they talk to and what they say. And there is a quality to the Hermit in this position of someone who has so much to say about you that they cannot say most of it, because saying it out loud would make it too real, and they are not ready for it to be too real. And then the Moon, and in this third group context, the Moon is showing me what lives in the private space of this person's feelings, what they would never say, but is always there. And what I am picking up from this Moon energy is longing, a very specific kind of longing that has your name on it, like they miss you in the way you miss something that you did not fully appreciate until it was not there anymore. And the Moon is the part of them that knows, that understands, that sees clearly in the private moments what they may not be able to face in the daylight. And then the Knight of Cups, which is the romantic, the deeply feeling one. And what this card in this position is showing me is that when this person does talk about you to the rare person they trust, what comes out has feeling in it, real feeling. Like the quality of how they speak about you is different from how they speak about anyone else. There is more care in it, more weight, more of a sense that they are handling something precious, even in the words they choose. And people who hear them talk about you often pick up on it, even when this person thinks they are being casual, because you cannot hide what you genuinely feel in the texture of how you speak. And then the Hierophant reversed, which is the breaking from convention card, the I am going to say the thing I am not supposed to say card. And what this card is telling me about what this person with complicated feelings is building towards saying is something honest, something that goes against whatever position they have taken publicly or whatever they have told themselves privately about why they feel the way they feel. And the Hierophant reversed in this position is telling me that at some point, maybe soon, this person is going to say something to someone or to you directly that surprises even them, because the feeling has gotten too big to keep organized around the conventions they have been using to contain it. Okay, now I want to pull a card specifically for what the most significant person in this reading, the one whose words carry the most weight, has been saying about you to people closest to them. One card for the thing that is going to shock you the most. The card is the Lover's card. Voo, voo, voo. Oh, the Lover's card as the single card for the most significant thing being said about you. And I need to sit with that for a moment, because the Lover's card is not a casual card. It is not a, oh, they are nice card. The Lover's card is the soul level recognition card the conscious choice card, the I see this person and something in me says, yes, this is the one card. And this card in this position is telling me that someone has been saying in their most honest moments to the people they trust most, that you are someone they see themselves with, that you are the one they keep coming back to, that when they picture their future, you are in it. And they may not have said it to you, but they have said it out loud to someone, and that someone knows your name and knows what it means to this person. Okay, now let me pull some cards for what your energy looks like from the outside. Like, what do people actually see when they look at you? What is the impression you make before you even speak? The Empress, the Sun, the High Priestess, and the King of Cups. Okay, the Empress, the Sun, the High Priestess, and the King of Cups. For what people see when they look at you. This is extraordinary. Let me walk through every one. The Empress first, which is the Goddess card. Beauty, warmth, life force energy. Someone who makes a room feel more alive just by being in it. And what this card is telling me about what people see when they look at you is that they see someone who is fully inhabiting their life, fully present in their body, fully warm in their energy. And that quality, that fully alive quality, is magnetic. People are drawn to it without always understanding why, and what they say afterward is often something like, there is just something about them and they cannot put their finger on what, because it is not one thing. It is an overall quality of being fully alive that radiates from you and that people feel before they can name it. And then the Sun, which is clarity, joy, warmth, everything illuminated. And what the Sun in this position is telling me about your external impression is that people feel lighter after being around you. Like something about your presence lifts the mood of a space, makes things feel more possible, makes people feel less alone. And the Sun as your external impression means that you are one of those rare people who other people think about after you have left, not because of anything dramatic, but because the light they felt when you were there makes the absence of you noticeable. And then the High Priestess, which is depth, mystery, the sense of someone who knows more than they say, who carries more than they show, who has a whole interior world that is rich and complex and fascinating. And what the High Priestess as your external impression is telling me is that people find you intriguing in a very specific way, like they feel like there is more to you than they have access to yet. And that sense of more, of depth that has not been fully explored, is one of the most compelling things a person can radiate. And you radiate it naturally without trying, and people talk about it. They say things like, I feel like I could talk to them forever and still not know everything. And they mean it as the highest possible compliment. And then the King of Cups, which is emotional maturity, the capacity to hold space, the ability to be present with people in a way that makes them feel genuinely held. And what this card as your external impression is telling me is that people feel safe around you. Like they can say things to you that they do not say to many people. They trust you with their real selves because something about your presence communicates that you can handle it, that you will not judge, that you will understand. And people talk about that. They say things like, they are one of the few people I can actually be honest with. And that quality of being a safe place for people is one of the most precious things you can be. Okay, now let me pull some tea leaf cards to get really specific about the individual things being said. The first tea leaf card is a name being written. A name being written. And this image is so specific. Someone is writing your name, like literally putting pen to paper or fingers to keyboard and writing your name. And in the context of what people are saying about you, this card is telling me that your name is being spoken and written in places that matter. Like maybe someone recommends you in a professional or creative context. Maybe someone writes about you to someone else. Maybe someone types your name into a search or finds a way to bring your name up in a conversation where it fits because they wanted to say it, wanted to put you in a room, even if you are not physically there. The next tea leaf card is a smile that happens involuntarily. Oh, a smile that happens involuntarily, which is such a specific and beautiful image because an involuntary smile is the truest kind. It is the one that happens before the person can decide whether to show it or not. And what this card is telling me is that when your name comes up, when someone mentions you, when something reminds a specific person of you, there is a smile that happens that they do not plan, and it tells the people around them everything they need to know about how this person feels about you, even if they never say it out loud. The next tea leaf card is a conversation that keeps coming back to you. A conversation that keeps coming back to you. And I love this image because it is showing me a very specific phenomenon where someone starts talking about something completely unrelated and somehow the conversation finds its way back to you. Like they were not planning to bring you up. They were talking about something else entirely. And then, oh, but that reminds me of, and there you are back in the conversation. And it happens more than once in the same conversation. And the person notices it and maybe even laughs about it or goes quiet about it because it keeps happening because you are just in their thoughts that much. The next tea leaf card is two people talking with your photo between them. Two people talking with your photo between them. And this is such a vivid and specific image because it is literally showing me a conversation happening about you with something of you present in it. And what this card is telling me is that your image, your presence, the version of you that exists in someone's phone or memory or social media is being looked at and talked about. And this is not necessarily one conversation. This is a pattern of your image being pulled up, your presence being referenced, your life being watched and discussed more than you know. The next tea leaf card is words that get stuck in someone's throat. Words that get stuck in someone's throat. And this is one of the most emotionally loaded images we have pulled today because words that get stuck in someone's throat are the most honest words, the truest words, the ones that cannot be said because they are too real, too vulnerable, too much. And what this tea leaf card is showing me is that there is someone who has things to say to you or about you that they have started to say multiple times and stopped because the feeling behind the words is so significant that saying them out loud feels like it would change everything, and they are not sure they are ready for everything to change. But the words are there, stuck in the throat, waiting. And the last tea leaf card is a prayer said with your name in it. Oh, a prayer said with your name in it. And I want to close the tea leaves on this because I think it is the most significant one. Someone in their most honest moment, in the most vulnerable place a person goes, their prayer has said your name, has asked for something that involves you, has put you in the hands of something higher, and a prayer with your name in it is one of the most intimate things one person can do for another. And this card is telling me that someone who matters has done that for you and you did not know. Okay, final messages from your guides. 6 cards, because today they have so much to say. You are being talked about because you are unforgettable. You are being talked about because you are unforgettable. And I want this to be the first thing your guides say, because I think the framing matters. Like sometimes when we think about people talking about us, there is this anxiety around it. This, what are they saying? Is it good? Are they judging me? And your guides are reframing that entirely by saying the reason you are being talked about at all is because you are not the kind of person that people encounter and forget. You leave a mark, you create an impression, you spark a feeling that does not just dissolve when you leave the room, and the conversations are the evidence of that. The next final card is what they feel about you is bigger than what they can say. What they feel about you is bigger than what they can say. And this is such an important message because language has limits, right? Like we try to put feelings into words and sometimes the words come close, but sometimes the feeling is just too big for the words available. And what your guides are saying is that what the significant people in this reading feel about you falls into that second category. It is bigger than they can say and what they do say. The conversations, the stories, the names written down, the involuntary smiles is just the surface of something much deeper that they genuinely do not have words for. Yet, the next final card is your name carries weight in rooms you have never been in. Your name carries weight in rooms you have never been in. And this is one of those messages that is going to take a moment to fully receive, because what it is saying is that your reputation, your energy, the impression you have left on people travels. Like there are people who know your name, who have an impression of you, who have heard things about you that were said with warmth, with admiration, with that quality of, let me tell you about this person in rooms and conversations that you were never physically part of. And your name in those rooms carries weight because of how the people who love you carry you. The next final card is someone is building courage to tell you directly. Someone is building courage to tell you directly. And this is so exciting because all of this, everything we have looked at today, the conversations, the things said in private, the feelings too big for words, the lover's card, the words stuck in someone's throat is building towards something. And what this card is telling me is that there is a person who has been gathering themselves, who has been finding the courage to take what they have been saying to others and say it to you directly. And that courage is close to being fully gathered. So stay open, stay present, because something is coming that you are going to want to be available for. The next final card is receive what is being offered. Receive what is being offered. And this is your guides being very practical, very specific, very direct. Because sometimes when something good comes toward us, we deflect it, we minimize it, we say, oh, it is not that big a deal, or they do not really mean it like that, or I am not sure I deserve this. And your guides are saying, please receive what is being offered. When the courage arrives, when the words unstick from the throat, when the thing that has been said to others is finally said to you, please let it land. Let it be real. Let yourself have it because it is genuine and it is yours. And the very last card, you are more loved than you have allowed yourself to believe. You are more loved than you have allowed yourself to believe. And I want to end on this because I think it is the through line of this entire reading from the Oracle card that said you leave an impression that cannot be erased. to this final message, the whole reading is saying, you are more loved, more talked about with warmth, more thought about, more prayed for, more chosen in private, more significant to the people around you than you have been letting yourself believe. And whatever story you have been telling yourself about how you fit in the world, about whether you matter, about whether your absence would even be noticed, your guides want that story replaced with the truth, which is you matter enormously to more people than you know, and what they say about you when you are not in the room is the evidence. So just to wrap everything up, the message of this reading is so rich and so layered. What they are saying about you will shock you because it is so much more than you knew. The people who love you light up when they talk about you, tell your stories, see you as a source of hope. The people who envy you talk about you in ways that reveal how much your light affects them. The person with complicated feelings keeps bringing you back into every conversation, has the Lover's card feeling about you, and has words stuck in their throat that are getting closer and closer to coming out. And you, the Empress, the Sun, the High Priestess, the King of Cups, leave an impression everywhere you go that cannot be erased. Your name carries weight in rooms you have never been in. Someone has said a prayer with your name in it, and someone is building the courage to finally say to your face what they have been saying to others for a long time. You are unforgettable. You are loved. You are chosen, even in the rooms where you are not present. And the most significant person is about to make sure you know it. I hope this reading gave you something today that landed where it needed to. I hope something made you go, oh, I did not know that. And I hope it made you feel genuinely, beautifully seen. Please take really good care of yourself. Please let yourself receive the love that is coming towards you. Please believe even a little bit more than you did before watching this, that you matter, because you do so much and in so many directions that you cannot even fully see it from where you are standing. If this resonated with you, please, please, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow, and it helps these messages reach more people who need them. Leave me a comment and tell me which part shocked you the most. I always love hearing from you, and do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss anything new. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. You are so much more than you know, and the world around you, in the conversations you cannot hear, is confirming it every single day. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye, loves.